Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the Motorola RAZR 5G, the latest foldable phone on the market. And this time, it's a vertical box, so that's something you don't see every day. Now, to be honest, the predecessor had a similar box setup. Okay, so the handset is delivered to us like this, and check it out, we're making it a clamshell. So this phone was unveiled recently, just last week, September 2020, and should be priced at around $1,400 around the world. It's pretty much similar to its predecessor in some areas, like the two screens on board, but it takes higher end specs, a more powerful CPU, more powerful camera, and a more resilient hinge. It's an unboxing, so let's put the phone aside for now and see what's available inside the box. The setup is pretty interesting here. Everything is concentrated in this prismatic shape, and I think this cannot be removed. Okay, so it feels a bit like the carrier of a pair of eyeglasses. It's written, it's clearly imprinted with the RAZR logo here, and inside we find all the goodies. So let me start off with the manual and instructions, telling you everything you need to know about the innards of the box and the secrets of the device. Okay, and this one here is probably the warranty and extra information. Now, if we go even more in depth here, we obviously have the charger, which has an USB-A connector, and this one is an 18-watt charger, just so you know. Next up, we have the cable, which is of the USB-C to USB-A variety, and then we find the metal key used to access the slots. And we proceed to a pair of headphones, but they're not your average headphones. They're much different, superior. They have a braided wire and also this tip. They look pretty premium to me. They're also inscriptioned with the brand RAZR, and I have high expectations for them. Also, they connect to the device via USB-C, and I just fit them back in. And in case they don't fit your ears, we have extra plugs for them, with a smaller size and let's say with a medium size, because the standard big one is applied there. We have a little bit of a bundle here on the table, and I think that's pretty much it. So as usual, I don't want to make a mess, so I'm going to put everything back almost like I found it. Okay, so that should be close enough for now, and let's fire up the device and see what the fuss is all about, because we have a new foldable on our hands, fresh after reviewing the Galaxy Z Fold 2. A new format comes in. Now, clamshells, there haven't been many over the past year. There has been the RAZR 2019 and the Galaxy Z Flip, but this is the Moto RAZR 5G. It has a small power button here on the side, and we just fired it up. Now, the design is, I would say, pretty similar to the predecessor, except for the chin, which has been reduced. There's no longer a fingerprint scanner here. Instead, it's placed here in the dimple on the back side. It's firing up right now, and at its core, when opened up, you are treated to a phone which provides a 6.2-inch plastic OLED screen. And when you close it up, you're going to have to use this screen here, the external one, which is obviously quite a bit smaller. And we're dealing here with a screen which has a diagonal of 2.7 inches, but the functionality has increased greatly compared to the previous generation. Now, if you want the materials, we actually have glass here, glass at the back side, and we should also have an aluminum frame and stainless steel around the hinge area. Inside, this screen is covered with a plastic material. It's a plastic OLED and keeps the notch at the top side. I feel that we should probably decrease the brightness a tad, okay, and keep enjoying the experience. Okay, so if you want to talk about the measurements, when opened up, the thickness is a reasonable 7.9 millimeters, and the weight is 192 grams, which, frankly speaking, is well distributed on such a long phone, and less than the 205 grams of the predecessor. When closed up, it's a 16 millimeter thick handset, with a reinforced hinge which can take abuse, 200,000 closings and openings apparently, which means about 50 or 40 a day for 5 years. Sounds pretty decent. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So this super high mid-range phone comes with a bunch of familiar specs, which you've seen on many other handsets of this variety. I'm talking about the Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G, the OnePlus Nord, and so many more. Now, the CPU inside is pretty familiar. It's a Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G, accompanied by 8 gigs of RAM and also by 256 gigabytes of storage. No, there is no micro SD card slot here. Okay, and aside from that, you probably wonder about the resolution. So the main screen provides you with a resolution of 2142 over 876 pixels. I know it's atypical, but the format is also atypical. And this is a POLED screen, plastic OLED. While the external one, this one is a GOLED screen, and the resolution is obviously smaller, 800 over 600 pixels. Okay, so we're pretty much clear on the whole hardware thing, except for the battery, which is obviously tiny because we're working with such a tiny format. We're dealing with a battery with a capacity of 2800 mAh, which is actually bigger than the 2510 mAh of the predecessor. Camera wise, you can probably notice the notch here and the fact that we have a camera. It's actually pretty solid at first sight. We are dealing with a 20 megapixel camera for the selfies, and at the back side, well, not exactly back, depending how you hold it, this is a 48 megapixel shooter which can take 4K video. It combines 4 pixels in one for a 12 megapixel shot, phase detection autofocus, optical image stabilization, and LED flash all in check. On the connectivity front, this handset provides you with 4G, there's 5G, there's Wi-Fi dual band, Bluetooth 5.1, GPS, GLONASS, NFC, and USB-C right here at the bottom next to the speaker. And here we have the access to the slot, the Nano SIM 1. We don't have a micro SD. I feel the need to remind you that aspect again. Okay, so there should be other colors aside from this one, something like a blush gold, definitely, and another hue, so basically around 3 hues for the handset. As I told you, for the predecessor, well, it feels like a pretty compact device, also rather versatile, but I'm not a big fan of its ultra small, slim, and tiny power button from here. I don't find it comfy one bit. Also tiny are the volume buttons here, and the placement of the fingerprint scanner feels a bit weird here. I wanted it to be a bit higher, but it overlaps the screen, so maybe the placement here wasn't such a bad idea. Anyway, that's about it as far as first impressions are concerned. They've also expanded, I'll say it again, the functionality of the quick view screen. It's no longer a viewfinder for the camera, except it is. You can actually use it for that. Aside from being a viewfinder, you can also use it for app shortcuts, to make or take calls, to answer texts, and view a bunch of apps. Okay, so that's pretty much it as far as the Moto RAZR 5G is concerned. Rest assured, we'll be back with a full review, perhaps sooner than you think. We've done the benchmarks, it's time for the battery test, and maybe even a few games. This is from gsn.com. Bye bye.